And they prepare to make a line. In they come. They're off. The take flies back, and the ninth renewal of the Betfair Chase is underway. And Irish Raider Arawada were the first to show up from Q Card against the rail. They're tracked around the first bend by former Gold Cup hero Long Run and stablemate and current holder of the Gold Cup Boxworth in fourth. Then Silviniaco Conti, last year's winner, the red jacket, ahead of Dynaste the grey, and the giant bolster is wide of Tidal Bay as they go to the first of their 18 fences, 5 fences off down the Haydock back straight to be encountered, culminating in an open ditch. So Arawada on the far side of Q Card as they prepare to rise for the first time. Being pair over safely and no alarms over the opening fence. So Arawada from Q Card and Long Run, Boxworth and Silviniaco Conti, Dynaste, Tidal Bay, and the giant bolster crossing the second. Arawada not very high, and Tidal Bay just a little laborious over it. Towards the midpoint in the back straight first time. Arawada and Jason Maguire from Q Card and Joe Tizzard, leading pair jumping well there. Good lead from Long Run. Boxworth was over in fourth, just ahead of Silviniaco Conti, and then Dynaste from Tidal Bay with his familiar high head carriage, and finally the giant bolster. Over the fourth they go, and Q Card landed just ahead there from Arawada. Long Run going up between them in the hands of regular pilot Sam Whaley-Cohen. And now the first of the 4 ditches in the race. Q Card, Arawada and Long Run. The first 3 to land from Boxworth. Silviniaco Conti shadowing. And then Dynaste, a couple of lengths to Tidal Bay, and finally with the giant bolster. So 5 fences safely behind them. They begin their swing towards the top of the straight. To the end now of a mile in the Betfair Chase. Q Card and Joe Tizzard holding the inside here, just shading the advantage from Arawada and Jason Maguire. A length and a half Long Run and Sam Whaley-Cohen. Tracked by Barry Geraghty aboard Boxworth, the dark blue jacket. Silviniaco Conti and Noel Feely wide around from Dynaste the grey under Tom Scudamore. Tidal Bay and Sam Twiston Davis, and finally the giant bolster and Dennis O'Regan. Here's fence 6, Q Card jumping boldly there, a prodigious leap. Falls safely to the other side with some 12 or 15 lengths first to last, and another ditch coming up to them quite sharply. Q Card, Arawada, Long Run, Silviniaco Conti out wide alongside Boxworth, then Dynaste. Boxworth just had to put himself right there. Tidal Bay last but one, and the giant bolster away to the far side last in this classy 8-strong field. So up to fence 8. Q Card on the right, and Long Run joining him in the centre. Arawada and Silviniaco Conti. Only a couple of lengths separating this quartet. Tracked by Boxworth. 3 lengths then to Dynaste, and then Tidal Bay and the giant bolster. Here's fence 9, brings them to halfway, and a good leap in the centre by Long Run, who really attacked it with verve there, and with ears pricked he shares the lead with Q Card on the far side, and near side Arawada a circuit to travel in the Betfair Chase. Silviniaco Conti stalks the leading trio with Boxworth up his inner into the next turn. Dynaste follows 2 lengths to Tidal Bay and 4 or 5 lengths away to the giant bolster. So away to the far side once more, and a further 9 fences to jump. Q Card ridden typically positive fashion, trying to prove his stamina in excess of 3 miles here. Arawada the Dan Royal winner, is Shadow. Long Run right behind them. Then last year's winner Silviniaco Conti just ahead of Boxworth and Dynaste, and Tidal Bay, typically patiently ridden, has to be finessed and cajoled into it, and the giant bolster being chivied along by Dennis O'Regan remains last but in touch. So fence 10 coming up to them. Q Card from Arawada and then Long Run, who continues to jump soundly. Silviniaco Conti on the far side. Boxworth as Arawada gets a reminder. Dynaste is in close touch, and then Tidal Bay and the giant bolster, and they arrive at the 11th. Q Card and their Long Run wasn't so good, had to put himself right. The giant bolster blundered in last place. Tidal Bay was a bit slow and had to be chased away from the landing side, and Silviniaco Conti breezes up to come and pressure Q Card with a mile to travel. Arawada disputing third with Long Run. Geraghty just angling for a bit of daylight out wide on Boxworth. He's got the great Dynaste as his shadow, then Tidal Bay ridden more firmly, and finally the giant bolster. Next plain fence on the far side, Q Card jumping boldly in front. He led by a couple of lengths there as they now move to the penultimate ditch. 5 out in the Betfair Chase. Q Card and Joe Tizzard from Long Run and Sam Whaley-Cohen, and Q Card had to put himself right. Silviniaco Conti travels powerfully. Dynaste is up into 4th, and Geraghty is nudging away on Boxworth in 5th place, some 6 lengths off the lead. Rawada has dropped out quickly and has been passed by Tidal Bay, and the Giant Bolster is last of all. So they begin the swing for home with just over half a mile to travel and 4 to jump. Q Card has got Silviniaco Conti and Long Run right on his tail. They in turn are tracked by Dynaste. Garrity crouching low on Boxworth, turned into the straight in 5th on the far side. Tidal Bay nursed into it, and then the Giant Bolster, and still plenty of chances. And Q Card is the one to pass. Here's 4 out in the Betfair Q Card. Silviniaco Conti mounts his challenge on the near side. Whaley Cohen administers reminders to Long Run, a little outpace. Boxworth can't get to them. Dynaste chasing down the leading pair, but it's last year's winner Silviniaco Conti who goes on. Here's 3 out. Q Card back for more. Dynaste launching his challenge. Clear now from Long Run in 4th, and then Boxworth, and Q Card finds a bit more for Tizzard's urgings. Dynaste the Grey produced a challenge. Silviniaco Conti under the fence, 2 out. Q Card by a length on landing from Silviniaco Conti and Dynaste. 3 with a chance. 1 left to jump in the Betfair Chase. And Q Card trying to fend off Dynaste and Silviniaco Conti. Here's the last. Q Card spot on there, an accurate lead, 2 lengths ahead. Dynaste is chasing him up the running. Q Card though is finding plenty for Joe Tizzard's urgings, and Q Card takes his cue in excess of 3 miles and storms away for an emphatic display in the Betfair Chase. Q Card from Dynaste, Silviniaco Conti, last year's winner, back in 3rd. Long Run 4th, then Tidal Bay, Boxworth and the Giant Bolster.
First number 2, Q Card. Second number 3, third number 6, and fourth number 4.